From April 2019 to April 2020, the 14th Street tubes, which carry the BMT Canarsie line serving the L train, had undergone a major overhaul and reconstruction project. This was one of the most important improvements to the system, due to the amount of ridership that the L train sees per week, and due to higher ridership coming in the next coming years, due to the rise of commercial and residential development in some areas that the L train runs through. This project needed to be done, and if not done, could have led to detrimental consequences for the MTA. So if videos such as this pique your interest, consider supporting the channel via the like and subscribe button. And if you want to see more like this, also check out our links in the description box down below, and also turn your post notifications so you won't miss an upload. Now let's head right into this video. In October of 2012, Hurricane Sandy hit New York City hard with saltwater floods and 100+ mile-per-hour winds and heavy flooding in our subway system, which caused $65 billion in damages just for New York City alone. And a part of that $65 billion in damages was the 14th Street tubes, which got flooded with 7 million gallons of salt water, which is very corrosive, and the damage done was catastrophic. Damages signals, train communications, and most of all, duct banks, which deal with all this and more. There was lots of work that needed to be done to make this tunnel safe for passengers and revenue service again. With opening over 100 years ago, since 2024, the tunnels wasn't built to withstand the catastrophic impact that Superstorm Sandy has brought. So with that, a full reconstruction would happen to a whole 7 years later after Sandy. But from 2012 to 2019, the MTA was patching and doing temporary repairs just to keep the system going. But that wasn't going to last long, and having been permanently fixed, would have led to major delays and temporary shutdowns, which the Canarsie line cannot afford. With having to rip out 37,000 feet of duct bank and replace and remove infrastructure equipment, the 14th Street tubes was no easy task and was very costly as well. But with having no choice, the MTA had to permanently fix the tubes, but at the same time didn't want to impact L train service heavily. But every tunnel that was affected by Hurricane Sandy had different patterns of replacement and repairs, which some did impact service more than others. For example, with the ANC Cranberry Street tunnels, repairs were on nights and weekends where reduced service took place. And for the R train Montague Street tunnels, it had to have a full tunnel closure, but with Canarsie, the damage was too catastrophic for a nights and weekends type of closure. So with response to that, the MTA had two closure options. One of the two options being a full 2-track closure that would last 1.5 years, which could have more impact on service, but would more importantly get the job done quickly, and service would be up and running between the spring and summer of 2020. Option 2 is a 1-track closure that impacts service less, but doesn't get the job done as quickly as the first option. With taking 3 years to complete both tunnels, it's still having that Manhattan service will still be detrimental to some customers. But the tunnels wouldn't be done until the summer of 2022. And looking into the future, that would have had significant delays due to the 2020 pandemic, which would have pushed back the completion date to 2023 or 2024 at the latest. But this option does allow trains to still enter Manhattan, but on the split service between 8th Avenue and Bedford Avenue and Lorimer Street and Rockaway Parkway, with no service between Bedford Avenue and Lorimer Street. But there will be near normal service between Lorimer Street and Rockaway Parkway, with trains running every 8 minutes. But the same can't be said for service between Bedford Avenue and 8th Avenue, with trains running every 12 to 15 minutes, still making this option less reliable and less efficient for passengers and work crew alike, and could still lead to a full shutdown if too many issues occur with the 1-track closure. So of course the MTA did the 2-tunnel closure for 1.5 years, and how this impacted service was by having no L trains in Manhattan between 8th Avenue and Bedford Avenue. But in Brooklyn, service will be running normal from Bedford Avenue to Canarsie Rockaway Parkway, with trains every 8 minutes. With the L train closure, the MTA had to rely on other train lines and bus lines to provide other options of transportation for the L train. So with that being said, extra service was being ran on the G, J, and M lines. And now the M will run late nights and weekends to fulfill the L train's absence and will still help L train riders to get to Manhattan and still have a good alternative. More enhanced and more bus service on the 14th Street corridor will take place by converting the N14A and N14D buses to select bus services, which will come with its own lanes and more useful stops. And also adding extra B39 bus service will be available, along with new shuttle bus routes that will run from Grand Street in Brooklyn to Union Square in Manhattan. And also, extra ferry service and more ride-sharing options will be available, along with bike sharing. But even for the closure date of April 2019, the MTA still had to get pre-work done to get ready for the 1.5-year closure, which did close tunnels on nights and weekends. Not only we're closing the tunnels, we are improving other parts of the Canarsie line as well, to increase service on the L to future-proof it for more efficient and reliable and faster service. The two stations that got the most improvements were First Avenue and Bedford Avenue, with First Avenue getting new entrances at Avenue A and will be ADA compliant by installing new elevators and stairs. And Bedford Avenue will also get new entrances and stairs, which will help reduce congestion and help everyone get to their trains on time and increase safety. But as of today, the L train is ranked one of the best lines in the New York City subway system, with having new signal technology and also a newer rolling stock compared to some lines. The L train is one of the better ones out the bunch. And especially after the two tunnels closure, it definitely gave the L train some more reliability. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video about the L train. We are taking a peek into MTA project history, about seeing how some of these projects went down, and speaking of them as if they was done today. So if things like this do pique your interest, consider supporting the channel by clicking the like and subscribe button and keeping your post notifications turned on for when I upload. Now without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Bye, transit fans.